Welcome to Deuteronomy chapter 2. After decades of aimless movement, this chapter marks the exact moment Israel pivots toward their destiny. It is a brilliant study on respecting boundaries, surviving the wilderness, and knowing exactly who you are supposed to fight. After wandering in the region of Mount Seir for a long time, the Lord finally tells Moses, "You have been wandering around long enough. Turn to the north." A season of aimless wandering is often necessary to burn off toxic habits, but a leader must decisively recognize when that season has expired and sharply pivot the team back toward the primary objective. God commands Israel to pass through Edom, but strictly warns them not to bother the Edomites or take their land. They must pay for food and water. True integrity requires respecting the established boundaries and assets of others, even when you have the power to take them. A healthy organization pays fairly for the resources it consumes along the way. Moses reminds them why they don't need to steal. During 40 years in the wilderness, the Lord watched their every step, and they lacked nothing. When a team is hyper-aware of how deeply they have been supported and resourced during their most vulnerable seasons, they lose the desperate, toxic urge to steal or hoard from others. God issues the exact same boundary warnings regarding Moab and Ammon. Israel is forbidden from starting a war with them. Strategic execution requires knowing exactly who you are not supposed to fight. Wasting resources on unauthorized, localized conflicts completely derails the ultimate organizational mission. The text adds a fascinating historical note. God previously destroyed massive races of giants so that Edom and Ammon could settle their lands. Recognizing that massive, seemingly invincible giants have been systematically displaced in the past proves to an anxious team that their current impossible barriers can also be dismantled. Exactly 38 years after leaving Kadesh Barnea, they cross the Zered Brook. By this moment, every single fighting man from the rebellious generation had died. You cannot step into a new era of success until the toxic mindset of the past is entirely phased out. Crossing the threshold requires leaving the old operating system completely behind. Moses sends peace ambassadors to King Sihon of Heshbon, but Sihon stubbornly refuses to let them pass. Sometimes no amount of polite diplomacy can secure a partnership. When a competitor becomes irrationally stubborn and defiant, it is often the exact catalyst needed to justify dismantling their structural roadblock entirely. Clear pronunciation, very encouraging tone. King Sihon attacks, but Israel completely crushes him, seizing the towns while strictly avoiding the borders they were commanded to leave alone. When execution is finally authorized and fully aligned with the core mission, the resulting momentum is unstoppable, completely neutralizing the opposition while flawlessly maintaining structural discipline. Deuteronomy 2 shows us that true strength is knowing when to fight and when to walk away. This leaves us with two important questions to chew on today. First, are you wasting energy fighting unauthorized battles instead of focusing on your ultimate objective? And second, has your season of wandering expired, meaning it's finally time to turn north? Take a moment, breathe, and let them sink in.